Yeah, take your
Yeah,
time.
so sorry, don't mind me.
It's okay.
I had sorry for rushing into the meeting, even though I have all things said. So it just something surprising was happening around me. So that was what changed my schedule. So yeah. So thank you very much for understanding. So good evening, everyone. And thank you so much, Wale, for the introduction. I really appreciate. Um, so I don't know where to start from. I don't know how to. A face is just coming at me on this call right now, and that's Obafemi Brobayo. Funny enough, as I'm just seeing that, I'm like, wow, wow, it's so good to see everyone here, and then also it's so good to see my brother here as well. So I will be sharing my screen right away so that I can just get right in, and so as to be able to, can you see my screen right now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So Um, bioinformatics. I'm just like, wow. So the journey looks a bit impossible, but delving into ag at some point in my life, brought clarity to a lot of questions I've asked as a chemist. You know, I've had so many concerns, right? Even though I was very much interested in something to do around drugs and the likes, organic chemistry precisely. But I didn't even know how that would make any sense. I didn't know how to go about that. And that was how my journey started. So please just let me know if you can't hear me at any point again. Just let me know.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly so far.
Am I still very audible?
Very audible.
Okay, great, great. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. So let me just do an introduction, just like Mr. Wale has mentioned earlier. So my name is Adeosun Toluwalase, and currently I'm a software engineer, right? Um, at a tech company or in a tech company in Lagos, that partner with MTN and some other telecommunications company in Africa. I've been privileged to build products that currently is generating revenues. Yeah, I think we can boast of close to a 1 billion naira revenue so far, or even more. Um, yeah, so it's yeah, also been a part of a team that shipped a product that was fully licensed by MTN, I think for like 5 years. So MTN paid for the product and then currently using it to manage their partners and distribution of airtime and data across Nigeria and even beyond. And that has opened up many other collaborations with Orange. Just to give you a background, you'll be like, how did this chemistry boy enter into all this? So that's why, as I'm just giving that background. So just like I have on my slide, can bioinformatics be your gateway into software development? Yeah. So you will find out, right, as we go on in the conversation. So actually, a lot of people think, oh, if you didn't do computer science or something, computer engineering or something, it's a difficult, what's it called? Even though with the advent of AI now, many of those things are currently being demystified, right? People are able to wrap their head around it. And then currently, um, though it might become challenging for a lot of people on the long run. They are like, oh, how will I even get my first job? How will I get my first entrance? I think that's the big deal for many people that learned this and dropped it on the way. So I'll be sharing my experience. So basically, I'm just going to be talking through what I've gone through in the past years. Nothing big. Yeah, some of them you might have heard them, and there's some you might just pick something to learn. I know I have plenty of my ogas here, like plenty bosses with several degrees. So this is just a journey of my chemistry journey into bioinformatics and then ending up in software engineering at the moment, which there is a point that we intentionally removed from here, and that is going back into drug discovery. And that's the journey. And then I will be talking about this briefly. Just give me a thumbs up to be sure that we are together. Just give me a thumbs up if you can. Thank you. Okay. Okay, well, I can see thumbs up for only two people. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you. So I need to say at this point that software engineering is actually not just for computer scientists, because we've even found a lot of people that even went to school for computer science, but really they don't actually have the understanding. They don't even know what they are there to do, right? Some people they just went to get the certificates, not necessarily to make impact with it. So it's not just for computer scientists, it's not just for somebody that has done engineering, right? It's basically it's something that opens arms for people who are able to think about systems, about data, about logic, even scientists. That's just what I'm trying to say here. And then one very pivotal thing for me in this journey is bioinformatics. How did I get into bioinformatics? I think back then, um, after school, after service here, I came back from service here. I got into my master's degree in and that was 2018. So I picked up a master's from that's at Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, to study organic chemistry. That's natural product organic chemistry, master's in natural product. Yeah, even there were a lot of discouragement. Don't go for that's a very terrible course. That's to do. But I knew what I wanted to. I knew I had something to do with plants. And by the way, the reason why I had an interest in plant it was because of one thing that took away one of my loved one. And then because I remember my father used to say then, he would say that we have a lot of things that we are pushing away with the advent of all these medications and drugs now that, he has a thing, he has an issue with medical doctors kind of trying to, what's it called, annul the impact of herbs in healing. So it was like, even though what they are supposed to do is they should just see, okay, how can natural herbs also help with a synergistic way to help drugs that they are giving us in the hospital. So he was always saying that, but apparently he became a victim of Nigeria system that, we lost him as a result of the kind of drugs that they gave him in the hospital. And also that made me say that, okay, I also need to look for a way that I can find I can make a drug out of plants, since it was very fascinating. So that was what made me had interest in bioinformatics or anything around it. So I picked up the master's forms. I started my master's degree, and on the journey, I think we hit a crossroad, and that was COVID. So COVID came, um and the journey started. I think first of all, I started as a data analytics intern. I picked an interest, pick a course, trying to learn how to do data analysis and all those things. Python, started going into Python all through the lockdown. So that was what I was doing. So after the lockdown, this knowledge was there. How do I, make the best out of it? And that was when we just saw the adverts. I think myself and Bro Bio, that is on the call at the moment. So we got saw the adverts and they were like, okay, let's give this a try. At least it's not a bad thing to give a try. And that was how we got into it. And Akbio just opened my mind, and I'm like, wow. So there is more that we can do instead of me spending 10 years, 15 years in the lab trying to look for a solution. I can actually reduce the time by doing some computations, by doing some docking, by doing some things to be able to say, okay, let's also check whether this thing is going to work on the system before we start stressing ourselves whether it's going to work in the wet lab. So that made me so excited about the whole thing. And I give it all I could. Then I did that training. I think that was February 20, if I'm very correct, that should be February 2021, if I'm correct now, 2021 and 2022. I think I'll show you the roadmap as okay, beautiful. So that was in February 2021. So that was how Agbao internship came in. And then we enlisted, we got into the program, and they taught us our Python. My initial knowledge of Python really helped. And then we went into the old docking and the stuff, right? And the same 2021. So after that internship, a new me started, I would say. After that internship, a new me started, because I used the knowledge in that internship to now apply, even though I was doing a master's here in Nigeria at that moment. So it was getting elongated, 2018, 2021. So I just okay, maybe I will introduce this into my own research, in my own research in masters. So I just applied to a university in Poland, and what got me shocked and surprised was the way the acceptance was during my interview with the professors from University of Jagiellonian in Poland. And appearing on that on that interview, on that panel, made me understand the worth of what Agbao handed over to me. If you see the way they were so crazy about, they were like, wow, where did you learn all these things? I'm like, I did not learn this. I just learned these things a few months ago. And then it was an internship. I don't think the internship was even up to 3 months. Maybe it was just like a month or 2 months internship thereabout. And they were like, wow, so you know all this? And lo and behold, that was how I was able to scale through the application pool and I ranked the best. And the professors were even the one that went to seek scholarship for me, funding for me to come. So all they needed was that I should just get my visa and land myself in Poland. If I can just enter Poland, everything is sorted. And that's how Nigeria happened, though. This country, it is well. Let me not say much. I'm trying to say a story, so I hope I'm not boring us. Please let me know whether I'm boring us or not.
No, not at all. I think I'm enjoying it.
I need reactions, so I'm on my screen.
Okay.
Okay, people cannot talk, Abby.
Yeah, yeah,
Sorry.
people cannot talk.
Okay, 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 okay. I hope it's getting interesting. Okay, thank you for the thumbs up of Oluwase. Thank you. Yeah, so that was how Nigeria happened. And they wanted to get visa. We tried, myself and Bro Bio. We tried. It got admission into a school. We tried. We tried all we could. All of a sudden, we just heard that for us to get an appointment to be granted, what's it called, to be able to do the interview for visa and blah blah blah. We need like 700 and something thousand naira. And I'm like, imagine somebody is even the one paying for my masters. It's God that sent the person. I don't have a hand in it. How am I going to get this amount of money? So that was how so I kept on speaking to the school. So they kept on pushing and all right, they wrote the embassy several times. They said, no, this is one person that we want to have over here. Voila, just to cut the whole thing short. Visa did not happen. And that was how the professors, funny enough, I already started lectures to the extent of which these people believed that I was going to come. I started lectures with them. I was added to the university portal. Everything was already going on. I was feeling among them. I'm like, oh, the black one amidst the white guys, studying. So I was already, I'm like, oh, is this real? So I was already taking lectures from Nigeria, right? And lo and behold, the whole thing didn't work out. And they could not just continue. They're just like, okay, we are sorry. We have to just terminate this thing at this point, even though we had all hopes that this will happen. And that was heartbreaking for me. And I was like, hey, where do I start? So I just did a little thing on my campus. I began to introduce a lot of people to all that bioinformatics taught me. Agbio rather, all that Agbio taught me. I became the woman that went into the city and start announcing, hey, this is what he has done for me. Oh. So I started that. I began preaching the message of bioinformatics to my lecturers. So I became a go-to person for this. And that was how the whole thing. So in 2021, December, the law permitted me to have a space in software engineering. So by the time I was like, okay, this skill, okay, now there's a roadblock. I'm unable to pursue my desire in this. But how can I, because I was beginning to see that, okay, everything I need to do in drug discovery, one of them has to do about first computation, like doing things on your PC, not first on the wets, I mean in the laboratory. So I was like, okay. So that was when I took the route of software engineering. So I picked up the course in January, I think January 7, 2022. And I think I did that for 4 months thereabouts. Because of the way Akbar has actually opened my eyes, my mind to analysis, my mind to research. I can be very detailed with research and all those things. All these things helped me to be able to, double the pace in studying and understanding whatever it is I was learning then in software engineering. And lo and behold, in a couple of months after that, I began to see that the manner of thinking, the way the way we were taught to ideate around things, the way we were taught to see problems. I just took the same thing into the software engineering class. And lo and behold, everything has become a story now. And then in the whole journey of software development, there's still a soft spot that is still there that I'm like, okay, how do I still use this software engineering I'm learning or I'm doing at this point? How do I use this to be able to still get myself back into bioinformatics? And that was where the idea came that I began to do a build of things, start to build softwares um, that is now going to be that is now focused on bioinformatics. That's what you saw there building, and that's how myself and Mr. Wali reconnected again. I think I also signed up for another internship. I think that was 2023 or 2024. I signed up another internship. I think that internship has to do with there was a particular group I was in, Thanos. I don't know if Mr. Wali can remember Thanos group. That was in
Yes,
2024.
I do. Yes, I do.
You said?
Yes, I do recall. I
Oh
don't.
yes, yes, Thanos. I was in the group in the team with quite a number of Indian people, and it was so interesting. Research was, they gave us one thing they did for us is that they gave us real life experience, right? Which was the main thing that is needed. Where you know that you are doing something that is working, you are making correct impact to body of knowledge in the research world. There's an excitement that comes with that. And that was the journey in essence. So I can begin to look at how some of the things that we did back then, how it helped me in software development. Right now in the company, if they really want to do a research into a particular thing, if they want to start a new project or a new thing, I'll just find myself in the team that is doing the research. I don't know how. These are things that I learned in science. These are things I learned in the lab. These are things I learned while preparing my ligands, my samples for docking studies. That painstaking and what's it called approach to your research and all those things. So these are all those things that made the knowledge so easy to pursue and so easy to follow after. So just to be able to pick on it quickly, so which programming language skill transferred directly into the industry? So all that we had, I think it was in Agbile that I first had my first encounter with Git. There is one person, I can't remember her name. I think she's from Kenya or something. I can't remember. I know she's one of those that is on the testimonial page on Agbile. I can't remember her name. Her name always. I can't remember. Maybe Mr. Wali definitely knows her. She's a woman. She taught us R then and Git.
I think I know who you're talking about. Winfred, maybe.
Yes, yes, she's the one. When she was teaching, I'm like, what is all this? Which one is Git? Which one is this? Because I remember then, learning it, I had to now use it to keep a track of my masters in Nigeria to the extent that my research work, so as I'm doing it, because I already have a GitHub account from AgBio, so I kept on keeping track. So I'll be using Git to track my changes to be able to, okay, what was the last thing that my supervisor said I should change? Then I will be able to, I was doing Git commits, Git all those things, and I'm like, oh, so I cannot use this in just alone in code. I'm now using it. So I did all experimented with that. And thanks to Winfred, thanks to her patience in taking us through, it felt like, hey, coding, because anybody that is using Linux and all those, you'll be like, hey, I'm okay with GUI. I'm okay with it. Why are you telling me to write code to be able to access something? But now everything has become something that it's part of us. It's the thing now. It's the thing. I remember back then that she would be like, "Oh, we need to make our samples available so that it is processed." I think how do we? I'm trying to talk about this thing as a layman now. She'll be like, "Yes, once we are able to put all these things together, Mr. Wale will say, yes, there's a GPU here that is going to help us run it. There is this." That I'm like, "Hey, what is all this now? I beg, I beg." But now all those things make so much sense because I'm in software engineering now, so I understand all these things better. So when they are talking about some of these things at the place of work, I entered the company as a junior engineer. Right, it was an opportunity I just got, but thank God I was prepared for it. I just entered the company as a junior engineer, and then lo and behold, what my line manager would say, he say, "Wait, are you sure you are a junior engineer? You don't even seem like one." Because there's a way your thought process is. I'm like, "Oh, don't worry. If you know what I've been through, I stayed in the lab for a whole year, you know, isolating a compound from a plant. I worked on a compound in a plant in Nigeria that I was working in the lab, me alone, monitoring all through COVID-19. Everybody was enjoying their me. I was in the lab, wake up, go to the lab, and all those things. But all those things was able to build something very, very tangible in me. So yeah, the we I had a bit of challenge actually overcoming my first interview because I'm like, wait, how do I do it? I remember then doing software engineering, they'll be like, um, don't present yourself to your recruiters. Let them know that you have experience in this thing. And the experience I have in tech is bioinformatics. Is docking. Is I don't have any other thing. How do I put this forward? So I'm like, okay. And I had to now, I wrote bioinformatics, and I had to begin to expose that I'm able to use Git. I'm able to use Git and GitHub, right? Right. I write Python. So in class, then when I say I write Python, everybody will be like, hey, I'll be like, no, Python that I write is for data analysis, so it's for this, it's for that. But it was a so by the time I would apply for a job, I was using all the knowledge I have with Python, with JavaScript I was learning, and then that was how I landed the job. And that was it. Without a computer science degree. Without a computer science. At that point, it was even so interesting to know that they didn't even care whether it was computer science or not. They are looking for somebody who can do the job. In as much as you are somebody that is what's it called? That is desirous for knowledge and then you want to grow, then that is it. And that was how academia, agbio, and all those things prepared me for software development and the likes. And yeah, now my software development skill is actually going to be a great tool in my bioinformatics journey because I didn't stop bioinformatics at any time. And I'm back to it fully. And I'm really trying to make sure that we're able to do something tangible, bring in my knowledge in software engineering back into the space to be able to advance necessary things. So just to touch a bit on something. So mistakes to avoid during transition, right? There are some things that I think I tried as much as possible to avoid learning too many things. When you are trying to learn, there's a way we newbie can do something. We can just say, you are learning things. You will learn five languages. You are the same one doing Rust. You are the same one doing React. You are the same one doing Python. Can you just stay on one? Right. Thank God I was able to, in the time I was learning Python, I stayed on Python strictly. And then when I had to move to JavaScript, I had to stay on it also. Right. We don't need to learn as much as possible before we start applying. So just try and learn, go deep into a stack and then do something real. And this is one thing that Agba really helped me to be able to achieve, right? Building something real, something tangible, and what's it called? So one project solving a problem you actually understand. These are things that I feel that we just need to do, right? When we are trying to build a portfolio, you don't need to just do, okay, because everybody is doing e-commerce, let me also do e-commerce. You can do something that will push you to be able to go beyond bounds, right? To be able to try as much as possible. And many of that. And then again, some people assume domain knowledge replaces fundamentals, right? But it doesn't, right? It's very, very important that we learn data structures, algorithms, and all those things. Let me not go into the tech because I'm starting to go into technical thing. Last thing I would say on that note is that many a times we say we are waiting to feel ready before we start applying or before we start shipping, right? You'd be like, I don't think I'm good enough. I don't think I'm the best enough. I don't think this. I think the best thing for us to is to get started. Let's get started. Then as we dip our hands into it, we will keep improving. So just an advice from this little boy, from this small boy. Let's try as much as possible to just build whatever tool that we have in mind. Let's do something. And that is where I'm going to round up this conversation. Early in this year, I have insight in building something. And then, after I built it and I did something and I'll just reach out to Mr. Wale. Mr. Wale, this is what I've been doing. And voila, it was so exciting to know how how much he loved it. And it was like, okay, makes sense. So you don't need to wait till you have all the money before you start to build something. You don't need to wait till everything is sorted before you get into it. One thing that Agbio community will surely give us is it will give us opportunity to interact with people. It will give us opportunity to an open bioinformatics, to an open dev. You will have something. So there are opportunities out there. There are opportunities that Akbar has opened us to, right? Internships, different internships. There are even recently, there's this internship I saw on Akbar that is currently being advertised. I think it's closing today. Early bird is closing today. When I saw it, there's something I'm building at workplace that is MCPs, making some of the software, some of the APIs that we use in the company, making it available for AI agents. And I built that holistically in the company, and I saw it in the things to be achieved during that. And I'm like, wow, Akbar is also doing, they are intending to build MCP with what they are doing. I'm like, wow. So I just really want to encourage us that let's just give it all we can, that as much opportunities that we can get into in Akbar, it is really, really going to worth it on the long run. It is really, really going to watch it on the run. Even though you are like, okay, how do I get started? You can get started by joining Akpile. We can get started. Then in that community, they'll begin to guide and instruct us. I'm part of the family. Mr. Wallace wrote in my what's it, he said ex Agbile. I'm not ex Agbile. I am fully Agbile. I am here. And I'm trusting that I will surely put my own commitments to all that we do here. So thank you very much, Mr. Wale. I don't know, maybe I've made any sense. I've just come to tell a story, and this is my story. Thank you. Thank you for listening. If there are questions or something, then I think I'll be open to that.
Thank you very much, Tolu. That was really, really nice and interesting from you. You try to humanize it, and yeah, that's the goal, right? The people who do bioinformatics are human beings like you and I, and they are or people who learn it and use it for anything in their career. They, like, I think Nigerians would say, they don't have two heads, you know. So yeah, thank you very much for sharing your stories, and thank you very much also for helping us to keep with the time. I think we started a little bit late, but yeah, that was really nice. So if anybody has any questions for the speaker, please kindly raise up your hand or type it on the chat. So a question from Amoni, I think this is for me, which is, please, can I get access to the record because I entered late? Yeah, yeah. We would communicate it. I would share it after now. Um, as long as we are registered, right? To avoid being flagged as spam. So we only send messages to people uh uh yeah, sorry, we send messages to people who only register for the event, right? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think there's also another question from Amoni again, which says, uh, uh, I don't know if you want to ask a specific question here, which she says, I have been attending the session because I always get overwhelmed by what I should start. Um, yeah, I think you should just start somewhere. Like Tolu said, if there is something on your mind, you can just start. So I have a question for Tolu himself, which is, so when the visa was denied by the embassy, how did you pick yourself back up? I think that must have been emotionally draining as well. So how did you get back up and, I don't know, for whatever reason, start? Because I don't know if it happened to me,
Uh,
what I would do.
it was a tough one because I remember I already even shared the story with you
Yeah.
of the whole thing. And I think the next thing, sorry to mention, I have my friend here, that's Brobaya, is one I've been referencing. I just told you, I said, Brobaya, hey, Akbar has shot me in the leg. Oh, Jesus, they have put my, what's it called, on testimonial. Hey, and this thing is not working. No, it's not working. It's not working. So it was actually a tough one.
Mm,
It was a tough one, but yeah, but thanks to God, right, I was able to, help me through that phase.
mm,
And all I just did then was that rather than just start sobbing on the whole thing. I think
Mm,
I just looked locally. So that's my experience in bioinformatics, that what I did in AgBio for like 2 months or three thereabout. I just pushed it to my local research. I mean, the
mm,
research I was doing on campus.
mm,
I started using all those tools to, because I had to, at some point I had to do elucidation of compounds
mm,
and all those things from my isolated extract. I mean, from the compound I isolated in the lab. So, I had to do, so that opened a lot of collaborations because they're like, ah, Tolu, so you know bioinformatics. Oh, yeah, come and join this project. Oh, yeah, come and join it. So, currently, I have like a couple of papers that, believe you me, what I did is I extracted for them and I just taught them how to go about the docking. That
mm.
was it. And I have my names appearing in like I think three papers and one or two conference papers like that. Without
Yeah.
and all these times I was talking about, I'd already started working as a software engineer,
Mm,
whereas papers were rolling out just because of the knowledge. So that was how I just coped with it. I was just dedicated to work. I was
mm.
just doing as many things as possible. Go for conferences in bioinformatics and all, and that was really something that really helped my mind through those seasons. Yeah.
Okay, I think Harmony has a question for you as well. I would ask you to unmute now.
Uh, Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, Mr. Tolu. Actually, I attended the session late, but the point where I got in like really touched me because I've been wanting to start with the bioinformatics work because actually I know the basics like the docking basics, then the database base, but I just know the basics. Like I've just watched YouTube videos and I know that this is how you talk, but I don't really know what is happening behind the talking because I always have this mentality like if you want to work somewhere, like you should at least know the basics of what is happening behind. So if someone asks you or like Harmony, this is what you are doing, like what is happening? Because most of the times my friends see me and they're like, Harmony, I love the work you are doing, but at times I'm like, okay, I'm just like practicing the tutorials I'm doing and I'm posting. They're like, I love the work you are doing, but I cannot say anything about the work I'm doing. So I was planning to start back from the scratch, like from scratch, then build a better portfolio. So I don't know, like should I start by learning the GitHub first? Because I heard about the GitHub and that's something I've also been wanting to work with. So I can have somewhere to put my portfolio, then start with basic Python. How? Please, I want your guide on that.
Okay. So I think one thing is available for us on this call, and that's the Akbio community, right? I remember at some point also that I was like, hey, hope I'm not losing touch with her with my understanding of bioinformatics and this, already getting swayed with software engineering, everything is getting deep and deep and deep. I remember I had to subscribe for another course again, another internship. That was the Thanos group mentioned the other time. So you need to just really be intentional about what you want and go for it. I tell you, the GitHub of it, in GitHub is nothing. Then when I was learning it, when I started, I'm like, but actually, it's something that you use on a daily basis. And the truth of the matter is, if you don't get into the system that helps you to use this thing, you will still think those things are actually the big deal. Whereas you still have bigger things to deal with than GitHub. GitHub is just simple line of code for you to save, for you to commit, for you to collaborate. It's not anything big. Do you get what I'm saying? Just like you said, to be able to keep track of. So you just need to get involved. You just need to get to do it. You need to start. If you need a community, we are sure of a community that works. We are sure of a community that is active, and that is Akbal. So you can just get into an internship, be intentional, right? Then before you know it, that GitHub or whatever it is, the Git experience, or if it is Linux or something, before you know it, the more you do something, the more your brain is wired to look for more. Right? That is just the truth. That is how things work, right? If you want somebody to imitate or to follow after something, just position an image of what you want them to become in front of them. So the more they build that thing, the more they look at it, the more they become it. So I think that's also just position yourself in a community that works, and that is Agbile. and continue to build what they say. You can imagine somebody will go to class for 7 years as a medical student, and after 7 or 6 years, they will confer on him an MBBS, isn't it? What did the person do? He's just appearing in class and hearing, and that's what we need. Let's keep listening, let's keep practicing. Then before we know it, we're able to go past the beginners level. Thank you. I hope I answered that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think he still has more questions. So because I
Okay.
saw that the hands were raised again,
Okay.
I will unmute him again.
Okay, thank you. You really answered it. So you said I should join Hackbio because actually the invite for like the link to register for this session was sent to me by a friend. So I just registered for the session because I knew it was going to be kind of informative. But I don't really know that much about Hackbio. So um wondering how should I join and what are the requirements? Yeah.
Okay, I would provide a link on the so specifically for your case, since you are just starting out, I think you should start from the very basics. So at the moment we have an internship, but the internship I would say it's in the range of intermediate to advanced, which is it's not even development of AI models or deep learning models. It's more on building AI agents, which can actually be very simple if you ask me. But for beginners, I don't think I would I will push you into that right away. So we actually do have a free course. I would just try to get a link for you now. It's a very simple course and it will get you started with Linux and Bash scripting. And in the process as well, you get to experience what do you call it? You will experience trying to get a link for you. You would experience GitHub, although we left it optional. Uh, so I dropped it on the chat. I would also send it to everyone after now. Uh, Free course on Linux and Bash scripting. So once you get started on that, there are big three programming languages in bioinformatics in general. So there's Linux, which is like the foundation of maybe everything you would use in the future. Um, there is also R, and then there's Python. Those are like the starters. If you maybe get to advanced high level applications, maybe you can begin to think of other things. But for now, these are like the starters that you probably cannot avoid when you're beginning. So the link I sent is also the link to ArcBio. It's the link to a course, but you can move to anywhere from that link, right? You can also go to the internet and just search for ArcBio. I think we are probably the only one in that line. So yeah, if any other person is also interested in just getting started in bioinformatics, you just want to have a glimpse at what bioinformatics could be on a practical level, not just, anybody can go online and read what you can use bioinformatics to do. You can use it for pharmaceutical development, for diagnostic development, and all of that. But if you want something more practical, not just click and click, you can easily just get started with that course. Okay, Adegite has a question for you, I guess. I'm asking him to unmute.
Uh, just to be sure, can you hear me?
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, okay, great. First thing first, thanks, Mr. Toluwalase, for sharing your experience. So, during the presentation, I think you did talk about certain skills that were transferable from bioinformatics to software engineering. So I decided that let's flip the script. Let's look at it from the opposite end. So what's that one thing, or what's that? It doesn't have to be technical. Maybe even a soft skill that you feel like can still be translated if you're moving from software engineering back to bioinformatics. Then second question too. I think I'm just a bit curious because you said something about MTN. So I just want to know what's like your regular day-to-day activity, working as a software engineer, in with these guys. So yeah, thank you.
Tolu, are you there? You are muted.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Juwon. So skills that are transferable from software engineering, right, into bioinformatics, correct? I think that's your first question,
Mm.
Juwon.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one is a lot, too. That is a lot because already, if you're already in software engineering, right? There is a lot. There is a lot because apparently you just begin to see that okay, because already in software engineering you would have been exposed. It depends on what you do in software engineering, right? Whether it depends on the part of software engineering that you are doing. Okay, but for me, I do. I'm a front-end developer and as well I'm a back-end developer. So more or less people call them full stack. I can just say sometimes front-end developer, but I mean full stack engineer, but front-end heavy. So all the skills in software engineering, they are transferable, all of them. Is it in managing your clusters? Is it in because when you get into the core of what's it called? Bioinformatics or chemoinformatics or anything, right? You actually need all this knowledge because my intention with software engineering is actually to be able to get to the point where that's development optimization, that's DevOps. Because I know that the DevOps is going to be, I mean, bioinformatics is going to be heavy on DevOps over time. In no time, it is going to be heavy on DevOps.
Yes.
Exactly. So I said over time because I'm using my own transition.
I see. Okay.
So it's going to be heavy on DevOps, right? So all the skills, is it my creativity? Is it my database structuring? Is it my anything you can think of, right? Because eventually you would now be able to build systems. So what you are doing on a routinal level, there's a way that you can now convert it that and say, okay, instead of me doing this thing by myself always, you can actually just create an automated system and then be able to hand it down, right? So there are a lot of transferable. And then I think another thing that I would like to say is that one thing that is very transferable is the way you think, the way you reason before you write code. Maybe because of the way I learn or the way I write code. I don't just write code. I do code. Writing code is not the first thing for me. It has never been the first thing. I need to first of all have done proper ideation, proper thinking, proper architectural diagram. Like I need to know the flow of what I want to do, right? And that is very much transferable, right, into bioinformatics. And don't forget, these were the skills that I had in bioinformatics that helped me with software development. And then as well, the same thing can also help you in bioinformatics, whichever way, right? All works. So, and then the other question, you want to know how my day to day is crazy. Don't mind me, my wife is saying other guys say very crazy.
Sorry.
It is crazy, actually. Don't mind me. I'm not trying to scare you, please. Please, it's not crazy. If you have the heart for the work, because you can just be working and they just call you, Oga, there is something that maybe MTN server is down on something, and then your service that people are using is dependent on that MTN server, and everything is throwing error. There's a problem. you know, we've had cases let me not we've had cases of money mismatch, like so crazy things. You can imagine, okay, there is a platform that we have that is currently active, used by some banks, I think Money Point. Currently, if you are vending airtime and data on Money Point, you are vending from our service, right? So you can imagine billions of, like, let's say millions of transactions, like a billion transactions going on a daily basis, right? You can imagine you trying to keep it up, whether DevOps, backend engineer. So it's crazy. That's what I would say. So but definitely there are ways to handle. I don't know how best to answer that question in terms of what I do on a day-to-day activity. And then every day we are not just staying on what already exists. Every day in my company, and that's one thing that's the reason why I'm still there. We are always ideating and building new things, trying to wrap our head around solving major problems. So that's how my day-to-day activity goes. And that's how it works, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, thank you for that. So I won't call it a question, more like I think I just want to hear your thoughts or your opinion on something. I mean, considering that you've been doing this for a while now, and I think there's one experience you have that I don't think I have, which is industry experience. So now you're very much aware of this whole coding assistant thing, Claude, Copilot, GPTs, and the likes. And it looks like the barrier into software engineering, especially when you are looking at it from the coding perspective, it seems like it's lowered now. Almost, I mean, I dabble into codes once in a while, even though at least I try to build one or two things, and I can say it's slightly it's it does make things a bit easier. So I want to ask, from your experience, from your wealth of experience, working in the industry, do you really think these guys can maybe replace proper software engineers, or do you think they're just supposed to let's say complement what you do? Because I mean, if they can already write codes almost perfectly, then what's that one thing that's as a software engineer makes you, let's say, relevant or makes you valuable? Then also I wanted to ask, do you use it? And if you use it, what's your let's say what's your experience like? Do you think they do a very great job, or do you think they are still very, very terrible or sloppy? Or do you think there are rooms for improvement? Or do you think maybe years from now, then they'll probably write very perfect code, and you don't really have to like spend so much time on the screen racking your head and having to like maybe remember its syntax or something. So yeah, I just want to hear your opinion. It's like I said, it's not a question, it's just your opinion. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Joan. I think the first thing I will say is may we never be victims of hallucination. Do you understand the joke I just pulled now? If you do, may we never be victims of hallucination. So, um, current systems around AI technologies and the likes, right? They have not come to actually replace our jobs or what we do. More or less, they are available to enhance it. I think that's what I'm going to say. They are available to enhance it. Yes, the truth of the matter is the entry level is now more difficult. I cannot lie, right? Because now, um, instead of you having somebody new on the team and the senior engineer is still trying to coach the person, right? The senior engineer now, his capability and his strength to work has been enhanced by making some tools available for you. So there is more of the thinking, the structuring, the architecture that lies on the shoulder of the software engineer, right? That that for an entry person might not be able to go around that, right? So, and just like I would always say, how many of you remember when Google and online search and web and all these things were a thing, right? That will go to Stack Overflow, right? If you know, it's also that one too. People thought, there is no code that you want to write that is not already on Stack Overflow. There's no you everything that you use, just need to go and pick it. Just ask the question, go and pick it, go and check it, right? You know, the truth of the matter is all those things are just going to enhance your work. So to talk about it in terms of whether I use it very well. I use it very well. I use it to enhance my work, to speed up my work, right? But one thing is, don't ever don't ever write don't ever outsource your code writing fully to an AI. You must be able to inspect every, because the truth of the matter is AI, when they hit a roadblock, they might not tell you I've hit a roadblock. They will find an alternative that does not exist. How do you want to explain that when it gets to production? I've had a lot of people that come to me and say, okay, Tolu, I've built this solution. Oh, it makes so much sense. And they are so excited. And I'll check the code structure. I'll be like, wait, are you sure that you want to go to the market with this code that you have here? I hope so. By the time we run the whole test of the code base, and the person is seeing the code, and like I said, well, You will run into serious problems if you allow this to go into production. So architectural work, AI sometimes will give you the basic thing. So if you want to write code now, there's a way AI will structure it for you. You would almost see the same pattern across, unless till you now come and say, no, this is the structure I want. Just imagine if you don't know the structure you want, how will it get it for you? So AI is also going to ride on our own knowledge and intelligence. It's going to help AI to be better in terms of what AI is doing, right? So AI has not, I will tell people that are learning currently, leverage AI, leverage it, right? Let it be a tool in your hand. Don't see it as a threat to your work, but you use it. Be a master to that, to the usage, right? Be a master to it. So when you are able to learn how to use, sometimes it might take you to just even do, many of us, we are used to dabbling into something without learning how to use it. Sometimes in recent times, I just take a course, I'll go to Cloud AI themselves and take a course on how to use their product. Many of us, we don't even know how to use the AI that we're using actually. We just dabble into it. You can just take a short course under Claude AI, how to use Claude. It will tell you how to prompt it to get correct responses. But some people just say, let me prompt, oh yeah, you can do this. Build a website that does this, that does that, that does that, right? So in essence, AI is not a threat to our job, except it becomes a threat if you see it as a threat. See it as a leveler. See it as something that can help you to speed up. So I would round up that on this note. There is a stack that I'm very comfortable with, and that is JavaScript, Python, right? But I don't do PHP. And the PHP stack is the stack that we use majorly in my own company. As of 2 years ago, I don't write PHP. But what did I do? I used AI to speed up my knowledge of PHP. And I will tell you, I was able to build a solution, something that we needed to build in company in-house in the company. I was able to build that solution in couple of days because AI already helped me. So I was able to learn PHP Laravel in couple of days. It's easy for you to transition from a language to the other because syntax is most likely what will change. Do you get what I'm saying? Syntax. So I just use that as a leveler for me. And then now I write Laravel without stress. I write Laravel without. So that's just, if I'm to continue to talk, I'll just keep talking out. So I use AI. I've been subscribing for a $20 every month. I know to pass $20. $20 every for the past like 10 to 12 months. And it's been making my life easier. And it's been opening up to more opportunities actually. I've used it to get award in my company a number of times. And they don't know that it's AI that I'm using underground. They don't know. They don't know it's AI that I'm using actually. There's a product I just built for the company. I just thought, there's a problem here. Can we build a WhatsApp bot that can manage customer experience? Voila, I use the AI. Nobody will ask me. But I was able to use it in a way that it can scale when it gets to production. And they are using that particular solution now to even fund the VTU lines that they are using for different vendors across Nigeria. Sure. So that's it. I don't know
Okay,
if I
thank
make
you
sense.
very much. I think that will be our last question, if because I see some hands came up, but I think you probably answered their questions as you were talking. Another hand came up, but it disappeared again. Guess you answered this. Okay, Opaliwa, do you want to talk or you're just messing around with us? Uh, okay, we're actually on time. I would ask him to mute if you can speak. Otherwise,
Yeah, thank you, Wale. Thank you, Tolu. I just want to ask a question. How do you, you've been mentioning you write, comfortably writing this code and that code. How do you know you're comfortable? How do you have that? To what level do you have confidence or you can boldly say you can write this? How do you know you've gotten to that level?
I don't know how to answer this question, but I would say, okay, I know I'm comfortable because I have what's it called, products in production that is working and is not breaking. Do you get what I'm saying? I have products in the market that people are using and it's not breaking. Do you get? I don't know. I'm trying to think, or maybe to address the question another way. How do I know I'm comfortable? When I'm able to get results with what I'm doing, and I'm not just getting a result that is validated by me alone, it's validated by other people. And then when also you begin to see that people actually, after some time reading your code, and they'll be like, I have people's testimony around me that says, Omo, when I read your code, it's like, I'm just like, hey, I need to go and learn how to write code, how to structure code, right? And even on the new things I'm learning, right? So I don't know. I hope I've answered your question. So there is results to show.
Mm.
Yeah, so that's how I know I'm comfortable with it. Until
Okay.
an attestation of what you have done. I don't think it's God that sees the heart, but people need to see results.
Mm. True, true. Thank you very much. On that, I think that's a very good way to round up the session for today. Thank you very much, Tolu. You've really spoken to, uh, yeah, you really addressed, I think, from a very strong career perspective and like industrial perspective today. And yeah, those that are scared of bioinformatics, or yeah, those that are also scared of computer science and coding, I think hopefully they are no longer scared. Ammonia, I hope you go ahead and give it a shot. And we also want to thank Bayo Obafemi for staying with you all through your downtime. Yeah, I think I've seen Bayo in at least two internships now. Yeah, he's also one
He's
of.
currently in where Italy doing his
Yeah,
PhD.
yeah. So hopefully one day we'll bring him on board as well, and uh, he comes to tell us the story as well. Yeah, but until then, I want to say thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for attending. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next one. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you very much.